This is my fucking place. Bricks stand me there. I'm in him for the girls them Ted. Start it. Me say me want some dirty money in my clean pocket money. It all up can't hold in my wallet. Invest some money for
Okay, as requested. Fire up the Derek. Take a drag. Dark's to hold it in, but I can't hold my breath for that long.
I think it's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is. I look for the invention of artificial life, the cloning of human beings, possible.
But McKenna had a very particular position on language, and something that he was conscious of was, first of all, he's by no means the make this make sense, because to most normal people, which I believe most people here are, it's probably not that interesting. It's probably like, what are they all talking about? Like, what's going on? And so what's happened is, because Creative Scotland have a period of COVID where we had Johnson and Dominic Cummings and Matt Hancock and all of these absolute teapots, these Etonian teapots, just continually making a like, you know, and just being exposed.
It a fi mad me, 10 and 20. It a fi kill me, $100 bill now. It a fi mad me, $50 bill now.
Noisy Parker, yeah, good to have you, Noisy Parker. Definitely maybe was the pinnacle. After that, it was downhill. It's probably the amount of drugs that they took. I mean, how much drugs must they have taken? I'll tell you a funny story, actually, about Alan McGee.
kadar. Aynen. O bile pişmiş.
Little lions are no local, we international and we global. I'll tell you this, don't call we no local sound this, cause we are ambassador in this business. Little
Get up, stand up, and me say fight for your right. Get up, stand up, and me say fight for your right. Pick up your gun, me say go grab your knife. Defend yourself, me say yo, save your life.
These Fedayeen who picked up the fallen Arab banner. Then one unlikely figure began to emerge from among the rest. Yasser Arafat. Yasser Arafat.
Whether we live or miss or whether we die, we never know the truth unless we give it a try. That is a love in my heart, they say you cannot deny. Say Jah and me protector, and me shield and me guide. And when the enemy me say them always provide. They look on the kids and me say how them a cry. How can the wicked man them fucking deny? Whether we live or miss or whether we die. Get up, stand up and me say fight for your right. Get up, stand up and me say fight for your right. Pick up your gun, me say go grab your knife. Defend yourself, me say yo, save your life. Get up, stand up and me say fight for your right. Get up, stand up and me say fight for your right. Pick up your gun, me say go grab your knife. Defend yourself, me say yo, save your life. Whether we live or miss or whether we die, we never know the truth unless we give it a try. That is a love in my heart, they say you cannot deny. Say Jah and me protector, and me shield and me guide. And when the enemy me say them always provide. They look on the kids and me say how them a cry. How can the wicked man them fucking deny? Whether we live or miss or whether we die.
These Fedayeen who picked up the fallen Arab banner. Then one unlikely figure began to emerge from among the rest. Yasser Arafat. Yasser Arafat.
I'm me protector, man, me shield and me guide. And when the enemy me say them always provide. They look on the kids and me say how them a cry. How can the wicked man them fucking deny? Whether we live or me say whether we die.
Listen man, it was our first trip out of Leith. We were going to North Berwick to see a boxing match. My mate, John, he's boxing. He's the Scottish Championship. Fucking brilliant, we're all excited. On the bus, it was our first trip out of Leith. Whole crowd there's man. Big John's fucking Barry, he'll fucking knock that cunt out man. First round, he's a fucking teapot man. He's fucking Barry, he's getting that fucking toast man. This old wifey pipes up. Excuse me, would you mind trying to curtail your language please? There's children on this bus. I thought I'll step in here and smooth this over before my mates rip her a new arse. I stepped in and I said, I'm very sorry old lady, I really must apologise for my friends. I'll tell them to curtail their language, which was a word I'd learned 30 seconds previous. I said, see, they were just a bit excited man, I sort of calmed it all over because I'm a diplomat, right? I'm not a real diplomat, with immunity and stuff and Ferrero Rocher and all that shit, but I'm diplomatic. I went over, I thought I've smoothed this over, very sorry old lady, I'll tell my friends. And it's not their fault, it's just every cunt swears where I come from. But they do. Every cunt swears in Leith. Every cunt, right? My man and dad swear, the lollipop lady swears, the teachers swear. Every cunt swears in Leith. And it's not even an offensive word, right? Because you'll say, well, I like him, he's a good cunt. Bring him along. He's a funny cunt, aye. This cunt, that cunt, every cunt, it's just another word for a person. If I was to say person all the time, then I would be a posh cunt. I'm not a posh cunt. I do get taxis everywhere I go. I mean, everywhere I go, I take a taxi. Only because I'm a taxi driver, and I find it's handy if I go to work and I've got my taxi with me. Otherwise, I'm giving folk collie buckies down the high street. You do pick up some nice people in the taxi, like. You also pick up a few rages, I've picked up these 3 guys the other night. I mean, the only reason I picked them up is because I missed the wee button that locks them out. They've got in the taxi, the guy's wearing a suit jacket with nothing underneath it. Baseball cap, the 3 of them's in, it's like a scene for Trainspotting. He's pushed his baseball cap through the wee space. Alright driver, you're going to Muirhouse by the way, and dinna put your meter on, because you're not getting paid. I'm like, fucking hell. So I spun the taxi round, we're heading to Muirhouse. I put the meter on anyway. Well, I figure, if you're going to get bumped, you might as well know how much it was for. So I guess the guy's down to Muirhouse. We're driving down. The guy's like, alright driver, go buy a mobile phone gadget. It's fucking Barry, BT, Cellnet, WAP technology. I says, oh, it's a nice phone mate, where did you get it? He said it was in this jacket. Property being 9/10 of the law in Muirhouse, Anyways, I've dropped them off. I knocked him down to 30 quid for the phone, and I got paid for the fare. 6 quid. They always pay you. He says, I'll give you a tip as well, driver. I says, oh, thanks very much. He says, dinna put out like fags with bare feet. I says, I'll give you a tip, mate. Aye. I says, dinna share needles, you junkie fuck.
Buenos dias, comrades. Good morning. Happy Monday. It's a happy Monday. Not so happy Monday. Alcohol minimum price is up 30% and peak fares are back. What a shambles. Morning to you, Kit Kats. Morning, Doreen. Morning, Leslie. Macapella, good to see you there. Right then, troops. Rainy Monday. I was cutting a bit fine this morning. You couldn't tell, but I could tell. Anyway, is there anybody here in the Oh, there is. Guten Tag, Bell Dumla Scott. Isaac. Oh, Thompson, morning to you. Right, well, it's all a bit mad, isn't it? I've got a busy day ahead of me today. I've got to film a music video for somebody, and there's a bunch of other things going on, so I hope everybody's set up for the week ahead. Who knows what will happen. Let's have a look into the Intersphere. I was thinking about a few things this morning, but they've also slipped my mind. If this thing cuts out, it's because I've got a dodgy connection. Cracking intro, yeah, thanks for that. Actually, that was the track that I started. Am I there? The track that I started with is one of my own productions, which is a collaboration between me and the Ambassador's wife, aka Hugo Flendy, and Daddy Scotty. And we called that project, I think we called it the Che Guevara Command Unit. And that was about 6 or 7 years ago we made that. And it's actually a cool vibe. I tell you, Macapella probably, morning Rona. Macapella is, I'm loving listening to Macapella's music. You just need to follow Macapella, who's was here a minute ago, he may still be here, but he's a great producer and I love his boom bap stuff. I'm going to get some stems and stuff to him definitely, or try to get him to collaborate with some people that I know. I think there'll be some real magic made there. But that first track, that song for Layla, is an ode to Layla Khalid, who obviously is a fairly impressive lady who took on the imperialists, hijacked some planes. But I do like that track, I have to say, and I think it's got that Ofra Haza sample in it, and the Rakim in that sampled, and then we sampled it. That was Hugo's suggestion, and it works really well on that track. And the video has been pulled from YouTube a few times, but I keep pointing out when I have to dispute these strikes that all of the footage is on YouTube. So all the footage in the video that I used to make it that sort of video, it's all there anyway. It's all on YouTube anyway as press footage and stuff. So all very strange. Nigel Smith, nice to see you in the YouTube chat. Is it our same Nigel Smith? Michael Fitzgerald, hello to you. Right Honourable Damien Thursday, hello. I'm going to say hello to you, Dishonourable Damien Thursday, but I hope you've addressed some of the type of shit posting that you get up to. I feel sad. I feel sad when I've got people that like my stuff and retweet me and that, and then I look at what they're posting that sometimes. I'm like, what are you all about, man? Come on, be cool. Be cool about people. It's people aren't the enemy. The establishment is the enemy. Buena dia. A bit late. Couldn't find you on X. It's 80 Fahrenheit in here. Right enough, you went to Spain. You're on the cheap body. What do you mean you couldn't find me on X? I'm there. I am there. Anyway, right, we're all here. Let's have a wee look. There's something I was thinking about when I was coming along the road there. I know that I've played this particular mix before. This is LTG Bookham's Earth Sessions, I think it was volume 2. But this particular compilation holds a special place in my heart because I used to listen to it a lot when I was a major stoner. I used to grow loads of weed, and me and my mate used to grow this weed, and then we would go down to London and hang out in London and just get blazed, like when we were like in our sort of early 20s. I used to listen to this all the time. It was a cool vibe. Anyway, I digress. This is true. This one. Chris Christopherson has passed away, and he was a really good dude. And there was some good clips that I saw this morning. I'll maybe see if I can find one or two of them. Oh, I must say, the intro, it wasn't just my own, yes, this piece of music that I produced. It wasn't just the intro song for Layla that was cool there, that the Gutter Blood may have been referring to. Also, that piece, First Trip Out of Leith, is by the legendary Paul McNeil, who is a song hero, but he is a genuine legendary character in Edinburgh. He's not even a character, he's just a super cool guy, super talented guy. And I had that particular piece of audio for years, along with another piece that AJ Nuttall, who again, AJ hugely was in Black and Eyes with Joe Malik, Zulus, massive pioneer of hip hop and black music in Edinburgh in the 90s, part of Cafe Graffiti vibe and all the rest of it. Very undersung guy in Scottish hip hop culture, and that needs to be ameliorated or rectified, because he was also one of the first guys to be working with a lot of, bringing up Raga DJs and MCs and toasters. A prolific producer. Yush 2K is his label. He now is a master of nighttime photography, so I'm sure he's still got all his production and music skills to hand at any time that he needs to deploy them, and they are extremely superlative, to say the least. But AJ now goes out in the middle of the night in his camo gear into the most inhospitable parts of Scotland and takes the most incredible nighttime photography. So I think he goes under Scotland at Night. Forster says, I've got the East Coast Project CD from the 90s, cracking compilation. It was an amazing compilation. It was a hugely inspirational body of work for me when I was starting out, when I was cutting my teeth as a producer, when I was a young whippersnapper. These were the guys that totally inspired me. I used to go down and hang out in Broughton Street at 64K at Uncle Jack's studio where they recorded all this stuff. And it's true, it was like Stevie Christie, Malik, the Sugar Bullet lot. There was some great stuff on that, you know. Really a part of... I'm not going to moan about the East-West bias or anywhere else in the country for that matter at the moment, but you know, I think Edina gets overlooked a wee bit for some of the gems and some of the important pieces of culture that we produced here. Sunday morning coming down. What do you mean by this, Doreen? Have you been Sunday morning coming down? What's going on there? Is this? Have you been getting high? Is this the? Hold on a wee sec. Have I? That's the sound of the island. What's going on? Hold on a cotton picking minute. That's okay. Lost a day. Doreen, I didn't take you for a caner, but I'm impressed. Johnny Cash and Chris K, yeah. Oh, right, okay. You see this. This is why I need my people here. This is why I need them here. There we go. Thank you, Kit Kats. Much appreciated. Okay, right. Sorry, Doreen. I'm sorry for insinuating that you were indulging, but no, but I wouldn't blame you if you were. I wouldn't blame you at all. Indulging, overly indulging. Who cares? Right. Okay, so what will we pick out from the feast of nonsense that we've got here? Doreen has just added me. Well, right, Doreen, you're dictating the trajectory here. So let's find out what. Let's first on the case. Anne-Marie Ward, who's always worth listening to, is saying something. Okay, let's start with this then. Let's start with the alcohol pricing thing, because this seems to be what people are chatting about. So we'll chat about it, right? We shall discuss this. Nigel's gone back on X. Come back to YouTube, Nigel. It was nice to see. It was a novelty to see you there. You're welcome there. Well, everyone's all. I did, but I'm all now. Just a puff. That's the same as us all, really. Okay, let's have a look at this. Go Radio. Minimum alcohol pricing rises in Scotland by 30% today to 65 pence. The 15 pence increase was agreed by politicians back in April. It now means the average cost of a bottle of cider will cost double than south of the border. It comes after last month, new figures revealed drink-related deaths were at a 15-year high in the country. Alcohol Focus Chief Executive Alison Douglas says the rate would have been much higher if minimal unit pricing was in case. Okay, so she's saying that more people would have died. Let's have a listen to what this lady's saying. Let's have a listen.
Craving alcohol.
Let's have a look.
Scotland.
Oh, what's happened there?
Scotland has a really, really high toll when it comes to alcohol. So we have. Scotland has a really, really high toll when it comes to alcohol. So we have deaths at a 15-year high. So you might wonder how that is compatible with me saying that minimum unit price has worked. What the evaluation is showing is that if it hadn't been for the protective effect of minimum unit price, deaths would be even higher in Scotland. Unit price is a life-saving policy. It's saved the lives of hundreds of people in Scotland and improved the lives of thousands more since it was implemented in 2018. So it's a really important part of the toolbox in terms of trying to turn the tide of alcohol harm in Scotland. Minimum unit price was introduced in 2018 and the government's intention had been to review it after a couple of years. That didn't happen. So basically we've had no increase in minimum unit price for 6 years plus. And we know that inflation has been running really high during that time and alcohol prices haven't kept pace with inflation. So what we need to do to ensure that we're continuing to see the benefits from minimum unit price, we need to recalibrate it. And that's essentially what's happening today, is that the price at 65 pence today is roughly equivalent to 50 pence back in 2018. This policy was never focused on dependent drinkers. Dependent drinkers, if you wake up in the morning and you are physically, psychologically craving alcohol, then I think most of us would understand that the price is not the most significant factor in whether you're drinking that day. It is targeted at the 1.1 million of us in Scotland who are regularly drinking above the Chief Medical Officer's low-risk guidelines. We think it's really unfair that shops are profiting from minimum unit price. We think that the additional money that people are spending, so as people are spending more although they're buying less, we think any additional profit should be coming into the public purse so that it can be used towards supporting people with an alcohol problem and preventing future problems. Scotland.
Right, well, I have an immediate response, but what's Anne-Marie Anne-Marie Ward is, let's see what Anne-Marie says. So Anne-Marie says, this person says, guessing this will sicken but not surprise you. Not sickened or surprised, Margot, amazed. It is deeply frustrating to witness the head of this quango twist themselves into complex rationalisations in an attempt to justify a policy that has so clearly failed, rather than acknowledging the evident shortcomings. They continue to defend what is plainly an incompetent approach. This kind of mental gymnastics only serves to obscure the reality of the situation, leaving those affected by these failures without meaningful change. We must demand transparency, accountability and policies that are grounded in real outcomes, not modelling data, excuses and bureaucratic deflection. Well, I definitely agree with Anne-Marie, what she's saying there. What we do have, it's hard to watch that woman without feeling. Let me just see what other people are saying. Most people, Gavin Brewis, again, someone who's you know, conscious of what it's like to grow up in environments surrounded by people who are affected by these issues. One of the worst policies we've ever had implemented. With its introduction, alcohol-related deaths have increased significantly. There is a history of alcoholics in my family, and they will always choose booze over food when that's the choice they are left with. So harmful. So, what is interesting, David Griffiths, what a disgraceful pack of lies. Nigel says, I don't believe her. She can go fuck herself. Nanny state nonsense. I think the thing is that what kind of irritates me is the fact that when you get these type of people, you know, I'm sure she's well remunerated for having this particular position, you know. But this is just an example of the professional managerial class, the professional middle classes, where they invent jobs, they invent kind of roles for themselves, and then they'll manage the data, and you know, of course they're going to insist that this policy works, but it's obvious it doesn't. It's just a stupid punitive policy. But rationale and common sense are not really things that are they're not really common qualities, common things that we see a lot of at present. So what do you think? I'm not convinced. I just think it's going to, you know, people are still going to drink, and people are going to find other ways to get off their box, you know, as well. And perhaps, you know, alcohol is a pretty heavyweight drug. It's a problematic drug. You know, I don't have any. People want to drink. I don't have an opinion. I personally don't drink, but you know, I think it's definitely a strong substance. What have we got going on here? Morning from Morocco. Carol Lagerfani, we are honoured. We are honoured. We have a Moroccan attendee, or a man in Morocco. Is he a man, a myth, a legend? Have to laugh at the SNP saying the policy has saved thousands. Total conjecture. Yeah, that was a pretty bold, a pretty bold statement, wasn't it? How much is a beer in Morocco? Probably about 30 pence. How much is a beer in Morocco? Like Carl Lagerfani. I love booze. With a name like that, I'm not surprised. Alcohol is a hard drug. I'm brewing up prison toilet hooch as we speak. It's definitely Monday. Right. Okay, so there we go. There's the general consensus towards the alcohol pricing thing is it's a load of bollocks. It's a load of bollocks, isn't it? Anyway, I was having a wee think earlier because let's just get this. It's good to see this woman getting a new arse touring. Jamie, literal definition of woke nonsense, by the way. Instant retweet. Right. Okay, what I wanted to... I'm getting a wee bit distracted here about this guy. Musk is mental, isn't he? He is mental. It's like, bro, you didn't look like your AI pictures. You're a fucking slobbering mess. This guy's annoying. That Glenner guy, he's annoying. It's like, there's a point in there somewhere, but this whole thing, I mean... And Armando Iannucci, he's slipped into addled land, hasn't he? Yep, I like Karl Lagerfeld. It doesn't matter how much it costs, I'll be drinking it. And I have to break it. And I presume that means shops. And if I have to break into shops to get it, I'll do it. Musk, is that Beldam? Are you saying that Musk is a dangerous man? Musk is he's definitely a dangerous man. I don't think there's any doubt about that. He is dangerous. I need to find my. I made the image. It was. I'm going to find it. I'll find that image. Hold on a second. I wonder if I find it here. I mean, it wasn't exactly. It wasn't exactly an amazing image, but it was just basically it was just Musk as Citizen Kane when he bought Twitter. I thought it was quite apt, because that's basically what he is, isn't he? A sort of like Raj Citizen Kane. What's Armando done? Oh, he's become a centrist slaverer. He's become a slaverer. It's sad, like, when you're like... But maybe that's an indication of the times as well. I have to give that a bit more thought. Right. I wanted to make a point about the obsession with the... So where was the thing that I was looking for? Okay. Scott Ritter is a sort of controversial character because he was sort of done for noncing. Which Bob Milne is obviously constantly annoyed about. But it wasn't actual nonsense. It was one of those like we've lured you with the threat, with the temptation of a youngling. And then when you've come to get your Nat King off a youngling, it's basically a bunch of folk with a camera going, you nonce, you filthy fucking nonce. So that happened to Scott Ritter, I think, or something to that effect. And he got in some trouble. And anyway, but he did make a point here, and I'm going to pause these relaxed vibes just so we can just hear what Scott Ritter said. Because what Scott Ritter's saying is important. And it's been overshadowed. this was on the 14th of September, it's been totally overshadowed with the obsession of the British media class, which is just the other side of the arse cheek from the political class, over the scandal of the Labour MPs and Starmer accepting all this clobber and gifts and stuff from millionaire donors. As if corruption in politics is suddenly something that we didn't know happened. But also, you know, really what this is a kind of pantomime of trying to basically make out that kind of going, oh, you're just the same as the last lot. It's like, what, you mean the political class? What you try to tell me? Is there seriously some suggestion that the political class are the same, irrespective of their silly little badges that they wear? Fancy that. If only we'd heard that. If only we'd. Look at, what is this? Arpignon has, in the chat, added. Is this? Have you? I'm not quite sure what's happened here, but it looks like. Have you given me $4.99 towards the new kettle? I did actually buy a new kettle, but I appreciate that. Right, cool. I like this. I put a picture up of it. Did you not see? Did you not see my new kettle? This brew has been brewed with the new kettle. Right, let's listen to what Scott Ritter's saying. I'll pause this for a second. Thank you very much, Arpignon. Right.
A very serious strike, one that would have prompted the United States and NATO.
Hold on a second.
I want to put you on notice that, and not too many Americans recognize this, on September 14th, the world almost ended. I don't know what you're doing on Saturday, September 14th. I don't know what you're doing with your lives. Hopefully it was a nice day. You're out enjoying it. But are you aware that a politician in Washington, D.C. almost signed his name to a piece of paper? That politician's name is Joe Biden. He is the President of the United States. Had he signed his name to that piece of paper, the British government, which brought that, Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, would have worked with the Ukrainian government to take Storm Shadow cruise missiles, target them with intelligence prepared by the United States of America, loaded into these missiles with British hands, then put on Ukrainian aircraft to fire against Russian targets. This would have been an act of war by Britain and the United States against Russia. An act of war that would have prompted an immediate Russian retaliation that would have gone outside of the borders of Ukraine, striking targets in the United Kingdom and the United States. Now, this would not have been a nuclear attack yet, but it would have been a very serious strike, one that would have prompted the United States and NATO to strike Russia back in turn with conventional weapons, but this would have been a strategic strike, one designed to take out command and control, logistics, strategic nuclear capability. And this would have prompted a Russian nuclear retaliation by doctrine, which in turn would have prompted an American nuclear retaliation, and 72 minutes after this nuclear exchange began, we'd all be dead. The world would be over. This almost happened. This isn't...
That's true. Keir Starmer, this has been totally overshadowed. Yeah, Beldam says, no surprise Ritter is upset on Russia's behalf, because Ritter is a real kind of pro-Russia dude and all the rest of it. And, you know, I think there's some debate to be had there. I'm not a geopolitics expert by any stretch of imagination, but I try to keep abreast as best I can, considering that we seem to be heading into some sort of, like, some kind of absolute obliteration. Or, you know, there's got to be something really bad happens because of all this bad stuff that's going on, right? Let's just, you know, that's basically the best way that I can think of it at present. But I think that this whole thing about what happened there was like Starmer, who is just this puppet, this nobody man, this complete weirdo. They were basically trying to get this legitimised that they were going to be able to use these missiles, and it 100% would have been an act of war, and it became very close to this. And something that kind of pisses me off about the British media, you know, which there's a lot of things that can piss us off about the British media, but this obsession with as corrupt as it is, and as unsurprising as it is, that Starmer's got a Man United box, or like fancy suits of some twat and all the rest of it. It's all the same fetishised kind of like crap. It's basically the right-wing press, if you want to call them the right-wing press. So it's just the media class doing the whole, oh, you had a party during COVID. You met people during COVID, and it's just middle-class shite. Everybody that the only people that really followed the rules of COVID and that were middle-class twats, like basically. Everyone else was like, fuck this shit, you know what I mean? Everybody, like most people knew it was a load of fucking utter shite. In terms of, well, I'm not saying that COVID wasn't shite, but the whole actual kind of way that this whole thing was played out was just idiocy. And so this is like the same. This is basically back to Partygate, you know. And whilst it's the hypocrisy of Starmer and the Labour Party and all the rest of it, it's like this is just the political class. But the kind of the level of attention given to it, in respect of what else is actually going on at the minute, like that's the bit that's really cause for concern. We kind of had like a sort of Cuban Missile Crisis level of kind of like escalated chaos. It's just literally happening there, and everyone's going on about somebody getting some freebies for somebody or whatever, you know. You know, it's I do think that they're all corrupt and they're all morons, but you know. Sorry, what have we got here? You didn't see the kettle. Here, look. I'll show you it. That's not all you'll see. I got blocked by James Melville at the weekend. I quite liked my comment as well, because he made some comment about Gaza. This is the funny thing about X. Elon Musk's X, right? If somebody blocked you, you wouldn't be able to see the thing, but now you still see. Anyway, he put a post up about Gaza, and this was after I'd had a pop at him about no posting in about Gaza. I said, great to see, because he's a farmer, eh? I guess it's great to see the content farmer tilling the land. But, see that? For a brief moment, I thought he'd unblocked me, but no, there we go. What a shame. A terrible loss. There we go, look. Sí, comandante. Tenemos agua caliente. There's the kettle. We have a kettle. I even put a What the X stamp on it. I tell you what, thanks for the $5, because I'm 20 quid out. Kieran Goebel, a bit hypocritical talking about freebies when you're getting backhanders for the new game. Hey, there we go, hey, straight to the jugular. I feel wounded. It's different. Could be doing with another lockdown. Some of the best house parties I've ever been to. There was things about the lockdown that were mental. I tell you what, but see if you're around Edinburgh, I mean, even if you come to the East End, like East End Edinburgh today, it's like the lockdown. it's like a ghost town. They've killed the city. It's bonkers, man. It's proper bonkers. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. So yeah, that was something that I thought was a bit annoying, that this whole situation with the missiles seemed to have been a bit kind of like brushed aside. I did mention that the other day, that Frederick Jameson had died. Obviously, he was a very interesting man. Duffield is being Duffield's resignation. People are kind of lauding her resignation, and I don't feel the same way at all about Duffield. I find Duffield irritating, because it's another one of these folk that kind of sailed in under the party banner of the Labour Party, knowing that the Labour Party is an utterly bankrupt entity, as are all neoliberal party machinery, party political organisations. And I don't really like this kind of vibe of like, oh, I've resigned the whip, I'm now an independent. And people will be like, well, you should have a by-election then, you know. I think part of me does actually agree with that. I haven't given it a huge amount of thought, but there is an element of going like, you know, yes, it's massively disproportionate trying to run as an independent against a party political candidate. But there's also the question of principle. It's like, well, if you've sailed in on a Labour Party ticket, and when it came to and then the other thing is this, right? She's made a see you next Tuesday of it as well, because when they had the vote on the winter fuel allowance, she made a big thing. I think we covered it on this briefly. She made a big thing about like, oh, she hadn't voted against because she would have had the whip withdrawn, but she abstained, and now she's in a, you know, a big kind of public attention-seeking display. She has resigned, so you know, that doesn't matter now. She's not under the whip. So why did she not show some principle and actually vote against it, right? Something I think that I've been making a point of a lot, and we're just going to see more of it. We're just going to see more of it. See, the thing is this, man, it's crazy. It's like those new cohort of these plastic political class that we've now got. This is the worst it's ever been. We've never had a political class as shallow and as superficial as we have now, and as largely just obedient to whatever the master says, you know. The Chris Murrays, the Blair McDougals, you know, the sort of like, there's one that looks like an embryo, you know. But the whole lot of them, this is really a peculiar time, and but the thing that kind of gels them as well together is they're all narcissists, and they're all massively attention seeking. So they're all caught in this thing where they're obedient to the party line, and they've got not a grain of politics between them, but they're all desperate to promote themselves as well. So they're all engaged in this sort of public display. It's really vulgar. And we're going to see so much of this now over this coming period, because they have no ability to actually say anything. If you think about, see, when we were growing up, and you know, politics has always been corrupt, but there was a sense that, you know, there's a shift. It's a well-documented shift for what the career politician has become, and the professional managerial class. But if you think about the sort of spitting image perhaps of the 80s, and even the people that were lampooning, like the kind of the Douglas Hurds and all this kind of all these Ken Clark and all these folk, you know, at the end of the day, however repugnant these people may have been in terms of their sort of political persuasions or their social positions on things, you still sensed that they were their own people, that they would be able to have, if they didn't agree with something, they would say, I didn't like that, or I'm going to vote against that, or whatever. You still had a sense that your parliamentarians, a lot of them, were still human beings that were able to have an opinion, even if you didn't like their kind of opinion, you know. These are droids, you know, these are these just utterly vacuous, narcissistic droids. And this is weird, you know. What have we got here? John Clifford, morning all. Bit late this morning, so I was wondering if you've discussed Trump calling for a 12-hour purge to allow cops to knock the fuck out the shoplifters. Is this true? I never saw it. I need to keep abreast with Trumpisms, especially as we head towards the US election. I didn't see this. Can somebody send me a link or what's going on? I didn't know about this. I completely missed it. John McFadden says, went to see The Substance at the weekend. Don't take mushies before it, that's all I'm saying. Ron Brown wouldn't have taken a handout for clothes from a lord. No, he wouldn't have done that. Yeah, look, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I don't detest this hypocrisy. Of course I do. They're horrendous. These people are horrific. But they are horrific, of course. But just in the light of like I'm saying, you know, when we've basically got Starmer trying to get Biden to get him to give him like go ahead with this missile thing is like a bigger story though. You know? Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that, Sky Blue, about Trump, as much as he is a nut job though as well. And you know, is America, will America descend into civil war? Is that what we're going to see first? Perhaps that's what we're going to see. Okay, here we go. This is so when was this? Was this yesterday? Okay, hold on. To stop crime, you need one really. Come on, man. Let me see this. Hold on. Let me hold on a minute. I missed this entirely. Right. To stop, you need one really violent day, one rough hour, and I mean real rough. The word would get out and it would end immediately. Okay, hold on. Okay, this is something like okay.
But you would say, oh.
Here we go. Oh no! Look at this. Okay, I've got a faulty connection.
Originally, you saw kids walk in with calculators.
Here we go.
The 950 is a misnomer because you can steal whatever you want. You can go way above. But you'd see originally you saw kids walk in with calculators. They were calculators. They didn't want to go over the $950. They're standing with calculators, adding it up. You know, these are smart people. They're not so stupid, but they have to be taught. Now, if you had one really violent day, like a guy like Mike Kelly, put him in charge, Congressman Kelly, put him in charge for one day. Mike, would you say, he's right here, he's a great congressman. Would you say, Mike, that if you were in charge, you would say, oh, please, don't touch them, don't touch them. Let them rob your store. All these stores go out of business, right? They don't pay rent. The city doesn't have money. It's a chain of events. It's so bad. One rough hour, and I mean real rough, the word will get out, and it will end immediately. End immediately. You know? It'll end immediately.
Okay, right. So I take it he was saying that this is the add up because there's a limit, isn't it? If you chore like under a certain amount, you didn't get the police or that on you. So it's like Shalom, Bob and Bobette, Sambo TV, yes, shalom. There is a sense. He totally does. He's totally Killian. Beldon Lascar. Trump reminds me of Killian from The Running Man. That is exactly what he's become. It's time to start running. We are kind of heading into a sort of dystopian 80s movie. That's maybe a better way of actually of dealing with things. If we're going to have to sort of find ways to sort of cope with the utter chaos of modernity. The other thing is, you know, it's my mate Kirk's birthday at the weekend, and I was talking to him about we were talking about AI, you know, and we're talking about the Unreal Engine and stuff. He's always worked in computer games and stuff, and I always thought, you know, because I make video and post-production and stuff, I always thought I was pretty astute at being able to tell when something's, like, you know, doctored or whatever. And it's like, increasingly, it's almost impossible. And even that video there of Trump, I know that it's real, but it's something like that. It's so easy now in some ways to manufacture something like that. It's very, you know, this old adage of the camera never lies. That's gone completely and utterly. It's impossible to tell. It's impossible to tell if some stuff is real or computer generated, or the hands of digital mischief have been upon it. Signing off for y'all for Brecky. Keep the peace. Love, life, happiness. Take care, Carl. Nice to see you joining us there. Enjoy your break in Morocco. Trump 2024 for the memes. There is, yeah, I mean, there is comedy value, but unless you've chored something at a shop and you end up getting roughed up, real roughed up. Okay, so we're nearing the exit wound for this morning. Let's have a look and see what Paul Connell's been saying. He was paying his respects to Chris Christopherson. Israel is currently bombing Gaza, Lebanon, Syria and Yemen with weapons, intelligence support and political cover provided by the West, a pariah state amongst a band of barbarous rogue nations. Yep. I need to jet off, folks. Have a great day and see you on Wednesday night. Cheers, Macapella. Take it easy. We're just about to wind it up anyway, because I myself have quite a lot to get through today. Right, well, listen, it's been fun to dip in Monday morning here. The weather's cleared a wee bit in the capital just now, so hopefully it stays that way. Once again, it's been a pleasure to see so many of you join me on what... Oh, there's one thing I need to say before I go. Before I go, I believe there was an AI song on the main screen on FC Mobile called $, Let the Music Rock Your Body. I don't know what this means, Chip. Can you explain a little bit more for my old ignorance? I'm not quite up to speed with that. What I would like to draw your attention to as well, because we're not going anywhere. What the X is here to stay, and we're going to keep expanding. Take care, Leslie. See you later. Really catchy with terrible lyrics. I can't be bothered with the AI music thing. Some of it depends. Kemo, AI music is drunk people love AI music. That's what I've decided. But talking of music, we have the What the X playlist. So most of the tracks that we've played thus far on What the X have been compiled by my glamorous assistant, and we now have that. So I'm just going to post that in the chat quickly while it's there. If you're still here, who's still with us? I'll post this in the chat. The link to that. Because there's some great stuff there, there's some really cool original tracks from myself and other people, if you don't mind saying so, and we're going to keep adding to it. So here's the share link for that, copy that, so I'll pop this down here. So there's the link to the playlist, if anyone wants to check that out. Right, okay. I'm going to leave us now, but Chris Christopherson did pass away, and there's a great track that he did with the Highwayman, which was and they had that collaboration with Willie Nelson and Johnny Cash and Chris Christopherson. So I'm going to play out on that. So rest in peace, Chris. He was a good guy. He was a guy that spoke up for those who didn't have a voice, and there's always time for that. So one love, people. I'll see you on Wednesday evening at 6 o'clock for What the Six. Have a great day. Take care.